All right, guys, everybody okay?
Yes.
Good morning again. My name is Billy. If you guys need anything, please don't hesitate. Just a couple things. We're going to be, of course, you can see the canyon on your left-hand side. We're going to be along the Highway 64, along the south rim here for a little bit before we get to the Grand Canyon. This route, folks, never changes. Fly the same route every day. It never changes, folks. If you're new here, you may not know that there are Grand Canyon Village, the Yavapai Point. There are a number of lookout points along the south rim there that we've got to avoid. And that's why we're going to head out this way just a little bit here along the forest. So a couple things. Of course, the volume for the music. If you folks would like to communicate with each other, myself, please feel free to do so. You want to have that mic right close to your mouth. And then try to relax, enjoy, and have fun with it here. The wind is going to bump us around a little bit. If this is your first helicopter ride, you're not quite sure what to expect. This is perfectly normal. I'm really not that bad of a driver, so. We got to kind of, the wind kind of circulates around the trees and valleys and creates these little pockets of turbulence there. It'll kind of smoothen out when we get up over the canyon there. And then we'll get up over the top of the north rim, kind of do the same. Now, folks, typically here on the south rim, you're going to find Rocky Mountain elk and mule deer. Up on the north rim, you'll find the black bear and the mountain lion, also known as cougar. And also some buffalo might be up on top there. We'll take a look at that when we get up there in about 20 minutes. The mountain range that you see on your right-hand side, the San Francisco Peaks, a line of dormant volcanoes. Everything on the left-hand side will be a dormant volcano. The tallest of the peaks there, the farthest left one is Humphreys, and then everything left of that, you can kind of see the calderas on all those little peaks. We get up on top here, this is what we call Grand View Ridge, and you're going to be able to see the canyon pretty good on your left-hand side here in just a moment. There's that little thing we call the Grand Canyon over there on your left, folks. Now, the canyon's about 2,000 square miles. The average depth of the Grand Canyon is right at a mile, 1.6 kilometers. The average width is 10 nautical miles, 16 kilometers. In the length, it's 277 miles, 446 kilometers in length. We have a little bit of a drop off here coming up here. We're going to fly off of Papago Point. Papago is right at about 11 o'clock. So that's what I'm going to refer to items today, just on the clock there. So in the left of center will be 11 o'clock. It'll be a pretty decent drop off going down to the Colorado River. We are going to stay about this same altitude above sea level, right at about 73 to 7,500 feet. Now the wind's coming out of the north. When we get close here, you kind of feel it getting bumped around. It's coming up over the top. Okay. All right, folks, welcome to the seventh wonder of the world here, the Grand Canyon. Nice little spot for a picture.
Whoa! Kelly.
Now, folks, of course, we can see the big Colorado River, the Rio Colorado, from the Spaniards back in the early 1500s, around 1515. You know, whitewater rafting is still occurring when you look on your right down there at about 1, maybe 2 o'clock for some of you. You're going to see some rafts coming down the river. They're quite small, though. They're about
2-1 on the river.
here on the eastern side of the canyon. The river averages right at 60 meters, 200 feet. And of course you can see the bottom in a number of areas, so it's really not that deep. On average here you'll find it about 7 meters, about 25 feet. On the left here, we're coming by the flat little mesa known as the Wotan's Throne, and then the Vishnu Temple just left of it. And then we got the North Rim, of course, also known as the Kaibab Plateau. In the middle could be, of course, the Grand Canyon of about 5 to 70 million years, according to geologists. Created through deposition and erosion by the Colorado River. Mainly limestone, forms of limestone, reds, grays, yellows. Mixed in with that will be a little bit of sandstone and granite. On the right will be the south rim. And here on this side, the eastern side, will be the Palisades of the desert, which are the cliffs that are run on the right-hand side. And then, of course, out in the distance, in front and right, you've got the flat plateau, the large Colorado plateau. It's also known as the Painted Desert. Now you might be wondering why the river is so green. There's an algae that grows in Lake Powell. So if you've made your way down from Page to the Glen Canyon Dam, Lake Powell, which is directly in front of us here. It's about 80 miles though from this point here. The algae grows in Lake Powell. They release water from the Glen Canyon Dam on a regular basis to maintain the height of the river. Folks, if you come back next year from now, it'll be the same. It's so very regulated by the government, the amount of water that comes down through the canyon here, that they know it'll only erode another foot per 1,000 years. Everyone hanging in there? Everybody still doing okay then?
Yeah,
okay,
fine.
Okay, folks. I did turn the heat on here, so we'll kind of work on adjusting that a little bit there, try and keep everybody comfy here. But we're going to circle around here a little bit to the right, across the Colorado Plateau that you see on your right. For some of you, you might see that smaller canyon that's carving its way through the Painted Desert on your right. And what it does is it runs from about 3 to 1 o'clock, of course, where the Little Colorado Canyon, the Little Colorado River, will flow into the Big Colorado here. So we'll get a look at it in just a second. Circle around here. We're going to pass over the Palisades and get a look at the Little Colorado River here, which this time of year starts to turn turquoise. So we're going to get a look at it here in just a moment here. Get up over the river. I'll slow down even a little bit more here. Folks, the reason for the turquoise waters, there's a lot of copper in the Grand Canyon. And really not only the Grand Canyon, but the surrounding areas. So the copper carbonate will turn a low volume of water turquoise. You know, the Big Colorado, it flows too fast, too much volume really for the copper to take place within the river itself. But the Little Colorado, you'll see here in just a moment. We'll get up over and around here. Starting to turn a little bit of turquoise here. we're going to be right on the edge of the national park, and everything out just in the front there, to the east and up north into Utah, Colorado, and east into New Mexico is all Navajo Indian Reservation. So Navajo Nation makes up about 240,000 Navajo. Really here on the Arizona, New Mexico area here is about 190. Just to kind of give you an idea where you're at here, when you look, probably to the right, about 2 o'clock for some of you, way out in the distance will be the Navajo Mountain. That's where you'll find Monument Valley. To the left will be Lake Powell, the Glen Canyon Dam. And then pretty much in front of us, you can see the Red Vermilion Cliffs, Highway 89, the alternate route. We'll head just at the base and head up over the top of the North Rim at about nearly 11, 10 o'clock there. A nice clear day even today. You can see Utah just in front of us, a little bit left of center. You can see the mountains way out in the distance there. That's going to be in the direction of Bryce National Park. Now, as we leave the south rim, when you look in front of us, that's going to be the north rim, of course, the Kaibab Plateau. Now, here on the eastern side, it averages right at 400 meters, about 1,500 feet taller than the south rim. Now, geologists account for the uplift due to the Vishnu fault line, which I'm going to show you here in just a short second here. We've got some vertical rocks here that are going to be just past Chuar Butte here. Then to run left to right, you'll see these layers of red and gray limestone rock layers become more and more vertical. You start to see them here now on the left at almost 9 o'clock and on the right about 2 o'clock. These layers are vertical, yeah. Call them tectonic plates that have collided here millions of years ago, creating the uplift in Earth here. Right over the top of it here now. Lean over a little bit here. You should be able to see it pretty good there when it. You guys didn't know you were going to get a roller coaster ride too today, did you? Got a little instability in the atmosphere today. Although nice blue skies, you would never know it. A lot of drafts. The wind's whipping down the canyon from the north today, so. bringing that cooler temp down from the northern states there. Now you should be able to see these sloping layers from the north rim down to the south rim to our right. In front of us, this is where the Grand Canyon begins. So you can see these layers kind of slope downwards. This is known as Boundary Ridge. The north rim will be continuing in the backdrop there, but this is where the Grand Canyon begins. It'll start here and go south behind us, and then a little bit west. About 446 kilometers total. Now, a lot of folks are curious about hiking trails in the Grand Canyon. There's a number of them. Just so happens to be one that comes off the north rim that will wind its way down, and it'll be underneath us. So when you look down up this valley, you can kind of see where that trail comes, and it'll go right out the valley there to the right down to the Colorado River. The reason for this trail is there's a lot of cliff dwellings along the river on the right there that, of course, create a protected zone. There's a no-fly zone over there, but I say it's a good 8-hour hike. We're going to work our way up to the left here. This is the Nankoweap Valley, and up on top of the north rim there. It feels like we're flying sideways. We are. Directly ahead of us, you'll see that little finger rock there. It's known as Mount Hayden. On our left, they got a couple peaks that are going to be breaking the horizon. One, the largest one there that's just off our 9 o'clock. That'll be the Siegfried Pier. Left of Siegfried out in the distance will be Humphreys again. We'll see it a few times. Left of that will be the smaller Cochise. And then Gunther's Castle, just breaking the horizon there to the left. A little bit of wind shift here in this area. It's known as the split. I'll try and keep it as smooth as I can for you. Folks, if there's anybody that's a little bit nervous, please don't be. I've been flying here for about 3 years now, so this is normal to me, but it's not to you, and I definitely know that. So you're in good hands. I'm gonna take good care of you folks, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a little nervous. That's perfectly natural. So, but just try to relax. Take good care of you guys here. We're going to be coming by Brady Peak here. It'll be coming by on the left-hand side. It looks like a battleship, but the top area there is going to be Coconino sandstone, and the bottom is going to be the red limestone. I'll circle around here a little bit. Feels like the heater's kicked on now. Get up on top here, let things kind of stable. I'll turn the heat down here. But one of my favorite areas, folks, is a lot of natural rock formations in this area here. Right across from the South Rim Grand Canyon Village. There's a pretty decent trail and lookout point. You'll look right up the Bright Angel if you haven't been there already. It's a nice little spot to go to. The North Rim here, you'll see this area has been burned. This was in August of 2001. A large wildfire back in 01. Burned the ponderosa pine and the Quakin aspen. A very barren area. Really, it's not that bad. Get into spring and summer. This is a nice green, light green is what the Quakin aspen they give off. But you won't really see, there's not going to be any activity up here. They've closed the North Rim for the most part. I might see a maintenance vehicle or two. They've closed down most of the campgrounds. The Grand Canyon North Rim Lodge will be up here, but just because of the cooler temperatures, not all year access up here on the North Rim. We're going to come across some open meadows here, folks. The open meadows, this was a homestead back in the early 1900s. So right about 1952, this is where, if you see any buffalo, this is where you'll see them. I'll keep an eye out for them. Once they close the North Rim or its activities slow them, they'll come out in these open meadows. There's a lot of springs and some good feed here for them, but just yet. Also up here, a lot of turkeys, coyotes. Got to keep an eye out for Sasquatch, Bigfoot. In fact, they're tucked in the shadows, just on. They're tucked in the. We're going to exit off the north rim here down through the widest part. When you look off the left there, that'll be the widest part of the Grand Canyon. 18 nautical miles rim to rim, 29 kilometers. You'll see a little bit of smoke here. A lot of control burns this time of year in the forest, so that's all managed control burns. Now really, we're going to kind of level off here in just a bit. We're still descending a little. We're just the top layer. And I'm going to name a few layers here. It's not all of them, it's just the main ones. But the rock layers here, the very topmost layer of the canyon, they're called the kaibab. It's a layer of gray limestone shale. There's a couple layers of limestone shale that they call the gray, but it's about 255 million years old, according to geologists. Just about eye level here is the Coconino sandstone. So it's going to be the yellower cliffs. It's not the only layer of sandstone, but the other layer of sandstone is quite deep. It'll be up towards the. Let me get back towards the Colorado River here. It's right at 265 million. The red limestone beneath that, right at 355 million. Now, of course, it kind of opens up a little bit here. As we get closer to the Colorado River, you're going to see a couple different layers. Beneath the red limestone will be another layer of gray and yellow limestone rock layers. And then you'll get into another layer of sandstone, which kind of hard to see just yet. But when we get closer here along the Colorado River, the Vishnu schist, which is a layer of granite. It's a metamorphic. What that means is just high temperatures and pressures over time constructed that rock layer. And geologists estimate it right anywhere from 1.75 to 2 billion years old. And it's quite extensive in reality. As we get a little closer, you'll be able to see it on both sides. But a lot of people are curious about, as they've read about the Vishnu Schist, otherwise known as Granite Gorge, one of the oldest rock layers exposed in the world. So you all should be able to see it now as we get closer to the Colorado River. It really makes up about 300 meters, about 1,000-foot cliffs up from the river. The Colorado River is also quite a bit narrower too. Now as we get a little bit closer to the south rim, we're going to descend a little bit and we'll get down closer to the trees. Usually the height difference doesn't really make our tummies too sick, but as we get closer to the trees, it's going to start to oscillate a little bit more. Don't get those little white baggies that are in the back seat pockets and up here if you do feel. No, don't be afraid to use them, folks, and it's not embarrassing. It happens. So hopefully everybody's still kind of hanging in there. Everybody's still hanging in there. Good. All right, good. The river here is only about 30 meters wide. It doesn't look it. It's about 100 feet. Probably looks a lot narrower than that. But also keep in mind, we're not quite a mile above. We're about 5,200 feet above the river right now. It just looks like it's right there, but it's a bit of a ways down. Just on the on our left here at 9 would be the Hermit's overlook. You can see the shiny buildings, whatnot there. It's a good spot to kind of hang out. I don't know if they've opened it up to driving most of the year. Yeah, I see a few buses. So it looks like you still got to catch a bus from the Grand Canyon Village there. Back on the south rim. Now these trees here are juniper and pinyon. We're going to descend down here a little bit. You can see another fire out there just at the base of Humphreys. This road's going to take right up to the Grand Canyon Village. We're going to be coming over some ponds, and these ponds are nothing. They're just a water treatment facility for the Grand Canyon Village, folks. They're nothing at all. Might see an animal or two in there. The Rocky Mountain elk, it is hunting season for the deer, but nonetheless, with those hunters in the area, chase the deer and the elk into the park. They're pretty smart. They kind of like to hang out right on the edge of it right here and kind of escape their way back into the park there. The Grand Canyon Railway will run up the valley here. Kind of see these thinning trees. The railway still in use. Even as of today, it brings tourists up from Williams up along to the South Rim Village there. A 2-hour train ride through the National Forest and up into the National Park.